Hey artists and creators, welcome back to Funk and Dazzle Studio. I'm Jstar, and today I want to show you how I made these Pride Slide artist trading cards. I think they turned out really cute. We've got tinted book pages and some lovely vintage style slides of happy gay couples. So the focal point obviously is the slide, and I made these with a little die, but to get the photos in the first place, I simply searched online for royalty-free vintage photographs, and I found all kinds. I used Canva, the free app on my phone, to size them down to about 2 inches, one direction, and then I put them all onto an 8.5 by 11 base for printing, and then I just printed them out on photo paper. So we got some nice vintage looking photos. If you don't have a printer or don't have photo paper, you can easily size this to 8 by 10 and have them printed at Walgreens. Totally easy. And there's always a coupon, so look for that. But just get yourself, or just use real old photos, whatever you have. Or you could print them on cardstock or regular paper. Don't have to be photo. I do like the gloss of the photo. This is a semi-gloss finish, but get yourself some old photos, and now I'll show you how we make the slides. Okay, so I'm set up to do the pages. We're gonna color some pages for our Pride vintage photo cards, but that's actually not the first step. I just wanted to show you the first step is actually cutting some cards, and these are all, I just want to show you, they're all out of just regular, freezer boxes. That's a creepy cloth. That's from the backing from some invitation cards I got at the Dollar Tree. So whatever it is, just cut your 2.5 by 3.5 squares. Okay, and even like it's rough and gross, it doesn't matter, because I'm usually going to put a piece of paper on the back before I stamp on my signature box, the date, and my little logo. So it doesn't matter, just cut your cardboard and save your offcuts. These offcuts, you can mount labels to these, words to these, and then cut them out so that they're sturdier. If you want to mount them on top, maybe raise them. These could also be punched and painted and embossed or whatever to make some really nice additional elements to add on top of your stuff. So save the bigger pieces of offcuts. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is gonna get some pages out of a book. And now I've stamped my cards with like French things, Monsieur, Juillet, and so I'm going to do French pages. Now, you may not have a French book. I happen to luck out on Facebook, and I got a haul, 3 free boxes of books, all by Emily Giffen, and they're all like chick lit, but in all different languages. It was amazing, like French, Italian, German, Dutch, Swedish, Thai, Cambodian. It's like crazy, all the languages of books that I got, but that was just a lucky find. I have found in thrift stores some German books, some Italian books. Fur Kids in Atlanta has their books organized, and they have a foreign language section. It's very, very small. It's like foreign language and travel. And so there's usually like a couple books there. You can usually get them for about $1. But I got lucky on this and I got them for free. So what I want to do is go in here. There's one that's already coming loose. Some other already cut. But what I want to find is full width text. I want to avoid, okay, like here, I want to avoid conversation. I just want to see like full width text. So I'm going to somehow open my thing, and I'm just going to slice down the side of the pages. And I'm going to pull out a chunk of paper. Okay. And then I've figured out for my card, the strips need to be, I need 6 strips at about 3 lines each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. So once they're squished down, 6 is going to do it. But I'm going to tear these into strips of 5 sentences, just so I can handle them better when I'm inking them, painting them. Okay, is that one? So I've got my little decal edge ruler, and I'm using a small edge, and I'm just gonna tear it up. And the trick with this, you really want to press it down hard. You see a couple of my pages slipped and I got that little bit. I'm only going to use that width, so this will be fine. But just hold it down really hard, press it down really hard, and then kind of push towards that decal edger. Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, I've cut 5 piles for 5 of the colors: red, orange, yellow, green, or yeah, green, blue, and then we're going to do purple. Purple is going to be on the bottom of the card, so I want it to have a straight edge. So we're just going to cut some strips with straight edges, okay? And I'm going to use my paper cutter, and is that the outside? That is the outside edge. Not my, this is my hand cut edge. That's the printer cut edge. So we're just going to line that one up straight. And basically the same thing. I'm just going to go 5 and cut. And now once we paint this, this will be a straight edge so we can line up at the bottom of the card. Okay, there's 5 of those. And I did actually cut some extras, because what I found is when I painted the first set, sometimes the ink doesn't look great. And so I just want to have a spare just in case. So I have a few extras on the side to deal with that. Okay, so now we're ready to ink our little text strips. And the first one I'm going to do is the purple one. So we have those straight edge purple ones for the bottom. And all we're going to do is put a little on the thing. Now I'm using Villainous Potion by Tim Holtz. And this, it's also an oxide ink. So it's very, very intense. So I'm going to water it down a lot. Okay. And so I'm watering it. This is a piece of glass. Okay. So that's what it's on. I just use that as my little palette. It's easy to clean. I'm going to mist the text itself. Okay. And then I'm going to get some of this on my brush. And again, I'm trying to get it, you know, really watery. And I'm just going to go across and whoop. I can go a little thicker than that. And these tend to dry a little lighter, but not too much. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to let that, I've got a little drying tray over here. And I'm doing one extra just in case I had it cut already. Okay, those are all in the drying tray. And now I'm going to rinse my brush and wipe off my plate. And we're going to go to the blue. Now, this is going to be a little different. We'll try what I did before. This one I'm using Salty Ocean. I think I actually used a different color to do these, but I just tested this and I like the color of it. I mean, it looks nice. Maybe a little bit more green. So what I'm going to do is wet the paper. Oh, and just kind of smooth that water out. And then I'm just going to rub this right across the paper. Done. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. For the green, I'm using Mowed Lawn. And actually that works pretty well. So here, I just dipped my brush into some water, brushed it across, got it nice and wet. And then inked it and go back and paint it again. And the good thing, it gets on that little edge. It darkens that edge, so it'll look nice when we layer it. That might be too much water. We'll see. I did it a couple times just to play with it. Still looks pretty good. All right, so I finished painting my strips. I have all my red, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple. Okay, and I'm just gonna let them dry naturally over there. And I just want to go over, just remember that the rainbow is Roy G. Biv. Red, I'm using Festive Berries. Orange, I'm using Spiced Marmalade. Yellow is Mustard Seed. Green is Mowed Lawn. Blue is Salty Ocean. And violet is Villainous Potion. Okay, Roy G. Biv. So remember that when you're doing your rodeo, your rodeo rainbow. All right, so I'm gonna let those dry, and we're gonna go on to the next step, which is cutting slides. Okay, for the slides, I've got two different kinds. There's this kind, which is kind of an old school slide where you have space to write stuff down here. And then there's the bigger square format slide. The die for them, it comes with both. This is like in there, and I got mine on Temu, and there it is. Good. Okay, for our slides, there's two different formats. There's a square format, and then there's the rectangular format. It's kind of got room for writing down here. Both are cool, so I'm going to do some of each on these cards. And you don't have to have these. You know, you can just take your pictures as is and mount them to a card. You know, this one would have to be cut down, but it'll still be nice to, you know, just brad that onto a card. But I really wanted the slide look for what I'm doing, so that's what we're going to do. And it's very simple. And for cutting, we just need, this is the Big Shot Sizzix cutter, whatever, die cutter. I got this in a Facebook haul. This was in a box with a ton of other stuff for $30. So I was very happy to get this. And it has the instructions right on it. If you have a different one or whatever, it shows you put a plate and then the paper and then the cutter and then another plate. I like to put 2 pieces of paper. I use some scrap paper if I can get it. And I'm just going to use the leftover from where we cut out our book pages. I find that I get a better cut on mine, and you'll see with yours, whatever you get. On these rectangular ones, it's very easy for them to warp as they go under the press thing. So just turn it on a slight angle so that it's going in on a diagonal, and that'll be safer for it. It'll keep it from making it really arc like that. And we just run it through. Usually we hear a little click. I didn't hear a click. Let's see. I'm going to run it through twice. That's one time, but then I'm going to put it back through again. Okay, and let's see. We should have, yeah. So this came out perfectly, and now we have the slide ready to put our pictures in. And of course we'll cut this down. I would probably do that one sideways so we get more of the picture Oh, so cute. Okay, so that's the whatever we're calling that slide. And then, and also, you might consider keeping these cuts because it's kind of interesting, you know, to have words on there. And if you're going to rough it up, you know, whatever, it might be interesting to have printed words. So just saying. On the other one, we're going to need 2 copies of it. So I'm going to put one through. Just going to angle it a little bit. It's kind of right on my edge. I hope I have that in there. Oh, and to get them out, sometimes they're stuck in there. Just use a little awl or a toothpick or a needle and push it right out. So now we have the front of the frame. We also have that back thing, which could be interesting. Okay, and then we're just going to do it again. And there we have our 2 frames. And now save these little pieces because when you age it, you can put this back over the photograph to keep it clean if you want to do some stamping. And I think we'll do something on this one just to show you how that can help. So save those. We've got 2 of those now. Get rid of our big shot. So now I want to put pictures in my slides. And for this one, I need to cut down a photo to 1.5 by 1.5. That's what fits between the little rivet holes, whatever those are. So those are like basically 1.5 on the outside, 1.5 on the outside. So we're going to cut down a picture to 1.5. And let's see, I've got a bunch of pictures here. That might be a good one. Actually, let's see, is that 1.5? That's 1.5 already. And these do have a slight, this is slightly longer this way. So I'm just going to do it slightly longer that way. That is already cut to 1.5. So I'm just going to do 1.5 this way. Sorry to cut off their little legs. Okay. And that is actually a reason to not put them in slides. Like, this is a great picture, but it'll cut off some of them if I try to put it in this frame. So this one I'll probably just use on its own. I'll vintage up the edges and just rivet it to a card on its own. So just something to keep in mind. Now, to assemble these, this is just tacky glue in a little bottle with the little precise tip, which I love. I got a package of 6 of these for like $1.20 on Temu, so 20 cents a piece, and it is fantastic because you can just do a little line of glue, and I'm just going inside that kind of the rivet area. Okay. And I'm just going to I'm going to scooch it down just a hair, just so this little head's not so cut off. Oop, that's got to go back up on that side. Okay, and now this one, and there is a right and wrong side of these, I think. This is the side where the die cut pressed in, so the edges are rounded down. On this side, they're flipped up, so there's, you know, like a little channel. So I just think that's the nicer side, where the die cut presses in. And if they're letters, that's going to be the right way. So that's just something to think about. Now, I'm going to do another line around the edge. Just a thin line. but then I'm going to kind of do a little thicker on this outer edge. I really love these little bottles. And the little top is right there for you. Boom. And so gonna line that up. And I'm gonna press it down really hard. There is gonna be a level difference between where the photo is not coming to the edge. So just make sure you crimp that down nice and hard. It also, when you press it really hard, it gives that little layer, little edge of picture showing. Does that make sense? And there's the framed slide. All right. And so let's, for this other one, let's see, do we want, actually, should we do this one across there? I don't know. I do hate cutting the pictures up. Actually, I think this is the better one to use. Okay, so I just want to cut this off a little bit. And then once again, we'll go right around the edge. And I'm just going to put some on the picture on this lower part. Okay, before we press that down too hard, we're going to look, make sure we haven't cut off too much of their heads. Okay, ooh, I got some glue on there. Okay, I think we're okay. Cute. And then again around the edge, and on this one we can cover the back of that photo. And then just fold it over. Et voila. Cool slide for your card. All right, let's go to the next step. Okay, now that we've made our slides, I want to distress them a little bit, age them up a little bit. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is use some vintage photo, and I'm just gonna age the edges. A little heavy there. That looks pretty good. And with this, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that little piece that cut out, I'm going to pop it back in there, and I'm going to just kind of go over a corner. And now there's that extra aging, but it doesn't hurt the photo. And we can do the same thing on this guy. If I can find the piece, there's a piece. Stick that in there, and we'll just go. Just gonna push out from the inside, and that'll hopefully grab that edge. Okay. Yeah, just a little bit of something, something. Okay. And now we're gonna add some numbers and some writing. And one thing I found, okay, so here's my first stamp sheet that I'm going to use, just so you can see it. And this is from Temu. There it is. But one of the things that has Samuel Harris here, and actually this one says Buck. So I decided that these guys were called Harris and Buck. And so I'm going to put that Samuel Harris on my block. Let's see, Samuel is the shorter one. And I'm just gonna get, Harris is the shorter one. I'm just gonna ink that Harris, and then I'm gonna take a Post-it note and cover that L just to make sure that doesn't get on there. And I'm gonna stamp his name there. Harris, lovely. And then while we're at it, I'm just gonna do Buck. Cool. And this one, is also from Temu. I think this one said signatures, but it has a lot of dates on it too. And this one has 13th of July, 1922. And July is a nice month to go to the beach in, so we'll let them be on the beach in 1922. You know, you really should read these stamps. I don't understand like why some of the stamp designers are obsessed with words like condemned. Like, what do we want with that? Like, that's a terrible word. Approved is a nice word, but they always seem to have a condemned in there. Okay, so this is the 13 de juillet. And I'm just going to put that across the bottom. Nice. Okay, 13th of July, 1922. And actually, this one says July 1937, Juillet 1937. I'm going to put that on the other one. And I'm going to put it right up under their picture. But I'm going to save room for more stuff down there. This one says Paris-Lille. You see that? So I'm just going to put that on the side. We're going to pretend that's where the photographer has offices, because there's no beach in Paris or Lille. Well, if you watch the Olympics, people will be swimming in the Seine this summer, which will be quite interesting. Okay. And then we want to, let's see. Maybe we'll put, well, I've already got Peggy Lee on there. So I want to put some numbers. And this is a cool number. This one's already kind of full, so maybe we don't put too much on that. But maybe we put a slide number up here. Okay. And again, this is the Field Notes stamps. I got it on Temu. All these came from Temu. I'll show them. I'm using 4 or 5 different stamp things. I'll show them all to you. Let's see. I want some words here. And one of these. This has 4 names here. They're very small. I can't even really read them, I don't think. Oh, it says Monsieur Charles Fichet in Poulange. So we're not going to worry about that. But this is really small writing, so it's undetectable. Okay, something written on there. And then I want to add a little pop of color. So I'm going to add some red ink. And I think I'm going to do it with this one. I think this is nice. Okay, so we're going to add a little red on this side. Yeah, that's cool. Nice. And then one final thing, I'm going to add a postmark to this one, even though it doesn't kind of make sense to have a postmark on a slide. But I think it'd be nice to have the round red, and you're not going to see much of it. So again, I'm going to protect it. And I don't know. Well, I'm just going to let it run off. Just going to ink that up. And I'm going to put it that side. Oh, it dropped off. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool, because now when I take that away, the image is unhurt, and you can actually see a little Paris there. Paris. So again, just adds a little pop of color to the slide, and there they are. Cool. All right, now we'll continue on. Now, all these slides I am going to rivet on or put brads on to the cards, and they have these holes, but some of them got covered up. So I'm just going to repunch them with my little hole punch. If you don't have a little hole punch, you can just open up the hole with an awl or a thick needle, just anything that'll help the brad go through easier. And that one's really actually already good. Okay. And see, like a little bit of the photo overlaps the corners. Okay, now these are ready to go on the cards. So let's put the stripes, the rainbow stripes, on the cards. All right, our strips are dry, and so now I'm going to put them on our cards, and I'm going to use some, this is Elmer's spray glue. Okay, just trust me, it's spray glue. I just hate those ugly labels, so I cover them up with pretty stuff. And I'm going to give it a coat of spray glue. And then I'm going to start with my purple, and I'm going to line it up at the bottom on the straight edge that we cut. Okay. And now yours may be different because of the size of your book pages or whatever. But I'm going to do a strip of glue stick over it, and then I'm going to go down to 3 lines. I'm going to show 3 lines of the purple, okay? And then same. I'm going to go down to 3 lines of blue. Stick that on good. Ooh. All right. So just so you can see, you know, exposing 3 lines of each color, and that gets us right to the top. And that's actually 4, but that's fine. Okay. We'll cut off the excess. All right. And there we have a rainbow card. Cool. And I'm actually going to save these because I have another project where I'm thinking I can use these for another Pride card. So I'll put those over there, and I'll get the other one done. All right, so we have our dyed papers glued down, trimmed up, and I've actually sealed these with Rust-Oleum matte finish sealer, and that's just going to help the crackle do its finish. If you didn't seal it, the crackle would kind of soak in and wouldn't work as effectively. And I'm going to try to do 2 different kinds. I'm going to use the Ranger Distress Crackle Paint Translucent and Mod Podge Crackle. Both are translucent, but I just want to see how they turn out. So we'll try both. And I'm using a palette knife because I kind of want to avoid brush strokes. All right, and I know you've heard me say it before, but the thinner the coat, the smaller the crackles. The thicker the coat, the larger the crackles. I'm going sort of medium here, and I just want to flatten out, give it a little texture, but we'll see how that turns out. Cool, and I just want to wipe those edges, make sure that the edges are clean. Okay. And now we're just going to try a little. Now this maybe this is drying out. It's very jelly. I like the way it goes on though. Completely clear. I can't remember it being this thick. Maybe mine is just dried out. I need to start putting plastic wrap down in it when it gets about halfway done. All right, looks cool. So I'll let those dry and watch the crackles appear. Okay, our crackle paste has dried, and I did a test between the Distress Crackle Paint and the Mod Podge Crackle, and the Mod Podge Crackle actually didn't really do anything. I don't know, it didn't look good at all. So I did actually go back. I'm sorry I didn't show you. I went back and put crackle paste over the uncrackled Mod Podge. I have used it and it worked before. I don't know why it didn't work in this case. I'm gonna give it some more tests and see, but we do know that this one works. So I've got those, but the one thing that does happen occasionally is these little buckles, and it pulls away from my substrate card. Easy enough to fix. I've got tacky glue in here, so I just squirt the tacky glue into the card. That's what I love about these little bottles. I mean, this is pretty big comparatively, but it can squeeze in these little bitty crevices. Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, just squeeze a little glue in there and then get it pressed down nice. This one really wants to warp. Yeah. So it really wants to warp. So I'm going to put it in the pressing device. I'm going to put it in a big book. Okay, I'm going to shove it in between the spine, and then I'm going to stack other books on top of it and let that sit there for a while. A few hours should do it. And now originally I was going to use distress inks and oxides to kind of make a wash and fill over this and try to fill those cracks and show them off. But all it did was actually darken the thing, and I kind of made it a little bit muddy and dirty, I think. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. It wasn't the effect I was going for, and I really like how this kind of sparkles and looks like, cracked glass. So I decided that I'm just going to edge them in black. Just so I've got my makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna give the edge a little distressing. And I think that is cool enough, because then when we put our postcard or our slide on there, I think that looks nice. It's a good combo. Okay, so let's get these aged up. Okay, I have all those. What is all that? All our little edges, and now I want to put these down with brads. I'm gonna use the antique bronze ones. I had considered putting some colored ones on there, but I think it makes it too cutesy. So we're gonna use the antique bronze ones, and to make it easier for ourselves, we're gonna take an awl, and you could probably use a sharp needle or something, and I'm just gonna line up how I want my slide positioned there, a little bit high, and I'm poking into a sanding block. And it just goes through that those cardstock layers and all the layers that we have now really nicely. Okay. And we'll just do that to all of them. All right. And so to finish it off, all right. And there we go. Got our brads in, our antique slide, our happy gay couple, and our pride flag made out of tinted text. Pretty cool. One last little thing, I am going to go around the edge of these with a black marker just to give it a little more of a frame. I'm slightly angling in the marker so it gets just a hairline on that front edge. I think it just, yeah, it just gives it a little sharper edge and finish. And here we have our completed Pride Slide cards, artist trading cards. I think they turned out really cool. I love that crackle finish and the vintage slide look. Now I'll probably end up mounting these to some cards like this, just like making a greeting card out of it. So, you know, a happy Pride card. I think that'll look pretty cool. I'd love to see what you do with this. Now, just a couple of ideas. You don't have to use text here. Use regular paper that you tint or paint. Use scrapbook papers that are already in the rainbow colors. Mix it up. Do whatever you want. But this is just a starting point. Have fun with it. See what you can come up with it. Anyway, go out there and create some great Pride Slide artist trading cards. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear from you. From Funkin' Dazzles, this is Jstar saying, have a great Pride Month and keep creating.